Walked through the door and radiated. There's no other word. I mean, she was quite a shock. If she ran through Borneo and was, you know, covered in mud at the other end, she'd still look bloody beautiful.
All right, Pete. Steady on.
This kid's just so different from anything. God touches certain people in certain ways, and beauty, you know, is definitely, you know, one of those things that he touches people with. And this girl was touched. She's like the boy next door.
Let it go, Pete, let it go. The girl from the Metro Centre had made it to the big stage on a primetime show with a chance to be in the next big pop group, and Cheryl's performances held nothing back.
Looking at Cheryl Cole's performances on Pop Stars Arrivals now, I think she'd probably not even get through to the boot camp on X Factor.
In the end, it was down to me and her and who would get into the band, so in the end we had to go and fight our corner, and the public chose for Cheryl to get in and not me. So, yeah, it was sad.
The singer going home is Emma.
Cheryl's grim-faced acceptance of her rival's defeat emphasised just how important the contest was for them all.
The final of Pop Stars was horrific. It was so tense and so emotional.
Despite drama, tears and a few tuning issues, the moment of truth came and made gripping television. Cheryl's reaction said it all.
Cheryl!
Cheryl had made it. She was in the show's girl group with fellow winners Sarah, Kimberly, Nadine and Nicola. Whoops. Together they were Girls Aloud, the newest pop incarnation of girl power.
Sarah was the crazy one. You had Nadine, who was the singer. You had Kimberly, that was a bit of an all-rounder, and then Nicola.
And Cheryl?
To be honest, she was the loudmouth Geordie, and she was a bit of a chav.
But the show wasn't over. In order to win, they had to beat the programme's boy band, One True Voice, to the Christmas #1. In a revolutionary simulcast between radio and a talent show, Cheryl and the girls' future lay in the hands of a doctor. Not a real one, though.
It's Girls Aloud.
The girls' reaction showed they knew they'd made it big. They were on their way, and the future was bright. After all the years of hard work, Cheryl's family were delighted.
Just so pleased and proud and happy for her. Happy that she's doing what she wants to do.
No one deserves it more than Cheryl, because she's been trying for years for this.
With their #1, Girls Aloud caught the imaginations of girls all over the country, and probably some older men who perhaps should have known better.
Bit of an outrageous statement, that.
But less than a month later, Cheryl nearly threw it all away as disaster struck in the new year.
Girls Aloud singer Cheryl Tweedy left court avoiding eye contact after being convicted for assaulting a nightclub toilet attendant. Miss Tweedy left nightclub worker Sophie Amagbokpa with a badly bruised eye after punching her in a row over not paying for lollipops she took from the ladies' loo at the Drink nightclub in Guildford in January.
So Cheryl is on this night out with the other girls in a club in Guildford. Cheryl, who had had a few drinks, ends up in a row with a toilet attendant in the ladies' loos.
These were two young girls. They had celebrity status. That matched with the excitement of the evening and, you know, the hospitality that was available.
They were pissed.
And I think the whole incident that night was not reflective of the club, of Cheryl, or any member of my staff.
You go into those kind of clubs, the girls are very competitive, you know, and there's a lot of bitchiness. You've got to be able to stick up for yourself, otherwise you're going down.
Well, I'd like to think that if Cheryl was still back in Newcastle going out in the big market, then she'd still be having fights now, and in a way it's kind of good that she hasn't changed.
Northern people are famous, infamous for their directness and their honesty. I think that's part of their charm, and I think that's really a great characteristic. What you see is what you get.
Cheryl got a £500 fine and 120 hours community service.
I hope that on occasion that maybe, you know, our paths may cross, and hopefully I can...
Not going to happen, mate.
Cheryl Tweedy was, however, cleared of the charge of racially aggravated assault.
I am pleased that the trial is over and thankful that the jury have accepted that this incident had nothing to do with race. I am not a racist, and anyone who knows me knows that I would not say anything racist. I am stunned and disappointed by the conviction for assault.
Cheryl rallied the girls, found a cameraman and took the opportunity to apologise for her violent crime.
I've always said I am so sorry to the other 4 girls and to my fans, to my family and all my friends. I am sorry it ever happened, really.
That incident was almost single-handedly responsible for wrecking her career and the careers of the other girls and Girls Aloud. Because, you know, the thing you cannot be seen to be doing, you know, people were angry and people were a bit disgusted about it. But, you know, once we heard all the facts and once it went to court, it didn't appear that that's what had happened. So she was forgiven.
We're just being ourselves, and that's what we are, feisty young girly girls, and it's obviously coming across to people like.
It was a hard lesson, well learned, and immediately forgotten.
Cheryl sometimes opens her gob when she should keep it shut, but she's a Geordie.
She's a mouthy little madam.
I was never a good girl. I was always in detention for chatting to my friends and chewing gum and all that stuff.
But this naughty girl just wouldn't let it lie. She had a good old snipe at the Spice Girls and a slanging match with Lily Allen.
No, I'm not talking about that.
And most famously, she took a pop at Charlotte Church.
Yeah, you're making me a crazy.
Charlotte originally released her first pop track, which was Crazy Chick, and Cheryl came out and said something about, you know, Charlotte stealing our sound.
They're saying stuff about her and she says it back and it's all a bit crazy, but I kind of admire the fact that she's not afraid.
Charlotte retorted saying,
"Oh, look there, when you can sing Ave Maria, then come and have a go, like."
She's not going to let that lie. She's going to hit back.
She's a bitch! You know, and you'd be like, oh my God, girls, just calm down.
You really done it this time. You know you're twisting my mind. You got me acting like a waxed out chick.
I used to really like Girls Aloud, but now I don't.
She looks like this little precious doll, but she's not going to have it. And I'm sure that if she met those people at a party or something, I'm sure she'd go up and say exactly the same thing to their faces as she would to the press.
Despite the serial gobbiness, Cheryl and the girls went from strength to strength, becoming more polished and more perfect by the day.
And it wasn't very long that they suddenly turned into this really hugely popular, successful band and became glossier looking and, you know, lost weight, which they didn't need to do anyway, but they kind of all got thinner. They all had brilliant stylists.
They had a really good look, and so girls wanted to be them, men wanted to go out with them, so they had, you know, both things.
Cheryl in particular had been transformed into a classy version of the girl from the council estate.
She really started off looking pretty terrible, just Ugg boots and maybe some tracksuit bottoms and that kind of thing.
Even her wonky teeth were brushed by a magic wand.
Her transformation is a sort of chav to princess in a few years.
She stood out actually more than the rest because she's more glamorous.
The videos were extraordinary. I mean, I really didn't think that much money was going to be spent on them.
It's like they've gone through a car wash and they've just been styled and plucked and tucked and sorted, and they turn the sex factor on immediately. And it's really great to watch because you're like, oh my God, that can't be those 5 rough old tarts that have been put on this show, you know, that have been polished up, and they actually look amazing. It's brilliant.
You just thought, my God, you know, that they mean business, not only the Girls Aloud, but the record company as well. And I think they really wanted to take on the kind of spectre of the Spice Girls.
By 2004, Girls Aloud had everything. A platinum album, another #1 song, and luxury apartments in a luxury building in a luxury corner of North London. But there was one thing missing for our Cheryl, a footballer boyfriend. Luckily, there was one just upstairs in the same luxury block, with an even more luxurious lifestyle, including multiple giant watches. But our Cheryl wasn't impressed with his stinking chat.
His chat-up line to Cheryl was, "Hey, hot lips, nice bum." He actually said that to me as well, but, you know, no, he didn't.
According to Ashley, in an exclusive limousine-based interview, meeting Cheryl had been a very different ballgame.
First met her, I was playing tennis with a few of my mates where I live, because obviously she lived in the same complex as well with the other girls, so I spoke for a bit and I asked her for a number. She said no. And then she gave me the number, and that was it really, that was history.